Do you ever feel like your brain has been hijacked? Like there's a constant pull towards distractions? A struggle to focus on anything important, and this relentless search for the next quick hit of satisfaction. Maybe you scroll for hours without really seeing anything. Or you find yourself reaching for snacks you don't even want. You know the feeling, and the advice you hear everywhere is the same. You need a dopamine detox. Just resist. Deprive yourself. Build these massive walls of willpower, and eventually, you'll be free. But what if I told you that entire approach is not just wrong, but it's actually making the problem worse? What if the war against dopamine is a war you can't, and shouldn't, try to win? Let's get something crystal clear right from the start. Dopamine is not the villain of your story. It's been massively misunderstood. We call it the pleasure molecule, but that's only a tiny piece of the puzzle. Dopamine is, more accurately, the molecule of anticipation and drive. It's your brain's motivational engine. It's the force that gets you out of bed, the spark that makes you pursue a goal, the chemical messenger that says, "Hey, that's important. Go get it." For our ancient ancestors, dopamine was the fuel for the long, difficult hunt. It was the drive to track an animal for days, facing exhaustion and danger, all for the anticipated reward of a successful meal that would keep the tribe alive. The dopamine system evolved in a world of scarcity and delayed gratification. But look at our world today. Our brains haven't changed in thousands of years, but our environment is unrecognizable. That ancient motivational system is now navigating a world of hyper-convenience. The long hunt has been replaced by a one-click purchase on Amazon that arrives at your door tomorrow. The difficult foraging for scarce high-calorie food has been replaced by a food delivery app with endless options available in minutes. The deep social connection from storytelling around a campfire has been replaced by the shallow, intermittent rewards of likes and notifications on social media. We've completely flooded the system with cheap, easy, instant rewards. Our brains are simply doing what they were designed to do: seek out rewards, but the rewards are now so easy to get that the system is overloaded. It's like trying to run a high-performance engine on cheap, low-grade fuel. It'll run, but it will sputter, stall, and eventually break down. This is where the idea of a dopamine detox comes in, and why it's so flawed. When you try to go cold turkey, no social media, no junk food, no entertainment, sure. Not fixing the underlying problem. You're just putting a lid on a pressure cooker. You're telling your brain, which is wired for motivation and reward, that it gets nothing. The cravings don't just disappear. Build up, the pressure intensifies until ... you crack. And when you crack, it's not a gentle return. It's an explosion. You binge on everything you deprived yourself of. You spend an entire weekend glued to a screen, order 3 pizzas, and scroll until your thumb is numb. Then comes the inevitable crash, the guilt, the shame, the feeling of failure. I have no willpower, you tell yourself. This is the binge and regret cycle. It's not a solution. It's a violent pendulum swing between extreme deprivation and extreme indulgence. It exhausts your willpower and reinforces the belief that you're broken. So, if detoxing is a dead end, what's the real answer? The key isn't deprivation. It's intelligent design. It's about shifting your mindset from being a passive consumer of whatever rewards the world throws at you to becoming the skilled architect of your brain's reward system. You don't need to destroy the system. You need to learn how to manage it, to guide it, to work with your brain instead of against it. It's about teaching your brain to once again value effort and delayed gratification, just like it was originally designed to. Let's build this new system together, step by step. Step 1 is the audit. This is the foundation. For just one day, your only job is to observe your own behavior. No judgment, no trying to change anything. Just pure, honest observation. You're a scientist studying a subject, and that subject is you. Get a notebook or open a notes app and create 2 simple lists. The first list is low-quality fuels. These are the zero-effort dopamine hits, the things that give you a quick, easy spike of satisfaction, but leave you feeling empty or even worse afterward. This is your mindless scrolling on Instagram, your channel surfing, your compulsive checking of emails, eating junk food when you're not hungry, or binge-watching a show you don't even like that much. The second list is high-quality fuels. These are the effort-based rewards. These are the activities that might be hard to start, but leave you feeling accomplished, energized, and genuinely satisfied. This could be finishing a challenging workout, solving a difficult problem at work, learning a new language, having a deep, meaningful conversation with a friend, cooking a healthy meal from scratch, or creating something new, whether it's a piece of art, a piece of code, or who's a well-organized closet. At the end of the day, look at your two lists. The goal here isn't to feel bad about the low-quality list. The goal is awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Now we move to step 2. Strategic pairing. This is where we stop fighting our brain and start working with it. Here's a revolutionary idea. You don't have to completely eliminate the low-quality fuels. You just have to change the rules of the game. You harness them. The new rule is this. You can only have a low-quality reward during or immediately after engaging in a high-quality activity. This is a concept from behavioral psychology known as temptation bundling. Want to watch your favorite trashy reality show? Great. You can only do it while you're on the stationary bike, craving that podcast. That's pure entertainment. Perfect. Listen to it while you do the dishes and clean the kitchen. Desperate to scroll through social media. You want that 15 minutes of scrolling time immediately after you finish that one dreaded task on your to-do list. What you're doing here is brilliant. You're using the promise of an easy reward to overcome the friction of starting a difficult task. And more importantly, you're retraining your brain. Your brain starts to build an association. It learns that the feeling of accomplishment from the workout and the pleasure of the TV show are linked. Over time, the effortful activity itself starts to become more rewarding. You're not just using willpower. You're rerouting the neural pathways of motivation itself. You're using the cheap fuel to power the journey towards the premium fuel. That brings us to step 3, which is where you take full control. Build your menu. Think about it. When do you fall into the trap of low-quality dopamine? It's usually when you're bored, tired, or transitioning between tasks. Your brain, in that moment of unstructured time, screams for the easiest, fastest hit available. It's a primal urge for stimulation. Without a plan, you'll default to the path of least resistance to your phone. A menu is your proactive plan to counter this. Sit down and create a go-to list of high-quality dopamine activities. Your high-quality fuels from the audit. Categorize them by time and energy level. What can you do in 5 minutes with low energy? Maybe it's stretching, or doing 10 push-ups, or tidying one small corner of your desk. What can you do in 30 minutes with high energy? Go for a quick run. Practice that new skill. Or batch cook some healthy food. This menu becomes your secret weapon. When that moment hits when you close your laptop after a long meeting and your brain begs for a cheap hitch-a-do, you don't try to resist. You simply consult your menu. You consciously choose a better, more satisfying option that you've already decided on. Instead of drifting into a 2-hour social media vortex, you might read one chapter of my book or walk around the block. You're replacing a reactive, mindless habit with a proactive, conscious choice. You are designing your downtime. When you design your dopamine, you stop the exhausting war with yourself. You stop the pendulum swings of the binge and regret cycle. You start building a renewable, sustainable source of motivation and satisfaction. The hard work, the things you know you should be doing, start to feel rewarding because your brain is learning to associate effort with a genuine, earned payoff. The satisfaction you get from completing a project you worked hard on feels infinitely better and lasts so much longer than the fleeting pleasure of a candy bar. You're not just chasing pleasure anymore. You are cultivating fulfillment. So, forget the dopamine detox. Stop trying to build walls of willpower that are destined to crumble. Start thinking like an architect, like a gardener. Design a system that works for your brain. Cultivate the rewards that truly help you grow, that nourish your mind and spirit. You have the power to create a life where motivation isn't a struggle, but a natural consequence of a well-designed day. Your first step is incredibly simple. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just do the one-day audit. Just watch. That awareness is the seed from which all of this change will grow. If this idea gave you a new perspective on focus and motivation, I'd love it if you liked the video and subscribe for more content on how to work with your brain, not against it. And please, share your own insights in the comments below. What are some of your high-quality fuels? Thank you so much for watching.